Hey, what's up, everybody? All right, thanks for checking out this video. And I have a question for you. Do you know what psychological warfare is? Now, I had heard the term before, but didn't really think too much about it until we had a guest come on one of our podcasts for Conversations with Entrepreneurs, and he was ex-military, and he talked about how they use psychological warfare in other countries, where it basically means that you get other countries or people in other countries to go along with your agenda without firing a shot. So it's all psychological. So you get them to see your side and start to behave in the way that you want them to without doing anything blatant to force them or persuade them to do what you want them to do. So I thought that was fascinating. And so I did a little more digging. And I think, now mind you, with psychological warfare, that is only a military thing. It's not supposed to happen among civilians. But I don't know. It seems as though we are under psychological warfare right now around the world. And I just want to just show you guys something and see what you guys think. All right, so check this out. All right, so here is a definition of psychological warfare. And this is off of Wikipedia, so you guys can, see this for yourself. But psychological warfare has been known by many other names or terms, including military information support operations, psych ops, political warfare, hearts and minds, and propaganda. We've all heard that word, propaganda, propaganda. The term is used to denote any action which is practiced mainly by psychological methods with the aim of evoking a planned psychological reaction in other people. Various techniques are used and aimed at influencing a target audience's value system, belief system, emotions, motives, reasoning, or behavior. And it says it is used to induce confessions or reinforce attitudes and behaviors favorable to the originator's objectives and are sometimes combined with black operations or false flag tactics. It is used to destroy the morale of enemies through tactics that aim to depress troops' psychological states. Target audiences can be governments, organizations, groups, and individuals, and not just limited to soldiers. Civilians of foreign territories can also be targeted by technology and media so as to cause an effect in the government of their country. So you may be saying, well, okay, what does that got to do with me? Well, the way I see it, I don't know if you've been watching the news lately about what's going on with this, I won't even say the word anymore, this illness that we have been feeling around the world. But every story I see, every single story I see has pitted the vaccinated against the unvaccinated. Then every story I see is talking about how someone has recently passed away from this illness, or they are in the hospital saying, I wish I would have gotten vaccinated. We see politicians, celebrities, all types of people saying, if you don't get vaccinated, you are the problem. We are seeing companies firing people because they are not vaccinated. So there's something going on. Now, the propaganda, and this is only my opinion, the propaganda that comes in now is I don't see the other side. They make it sound as though everyone who gets COVID is, damn, I said the word. Everyone who gets the illness is on their deathbed. And I don't know how true that is. I'll let you figure it out. But something isn't right with how they are reporting this illness and what's going on with it. All I see is one side. Can someone show me stories on social media where they are talking about people who have only had mild symptoms of the illness and are doing well or have recovered or anything of that nature? We don't see that. All we see is the one side. And here's something else that I find interesting. The entire world seems to be all on one accord. All of the news outlets around the world all seem to be stepping in unison on this situation, all of them. And then if there is any type of opposition to it, you don't hear much about it. So I just think that's very, very interesting. And then there's this here. Let me see if I can pull this story up here. All right, let me find it. And I would love to hear what other people think about this, because something is going on that just doesn't seem right. Okay. This, I found this article dated July 26, 2021. And it says, journalists claim blank news has been censored to create one official narrative. Okay. At least almost 30 journalists have banded together to object to censorship and fear-mongering that they say has been put out by the media and tech giants since the pandemic began. The group, calling themselves Holding the Line, Journalists Against Censorship, have argued that attempts to share concerns counter to the one official narrative or one scientific truth have led to reporters being criticized by their managers, freelancers being blacklisted, and the public receiving a distorted view of the truth. So I want you guys to just look this up yourself and see. You can read the rest yourself. But again, are we under some type of psychological warfare? What's really going on? I don't know. It just seems really interesting how we have such a huge push for everyone to get vaccinated. Are there any other things you can do to strengthen your immune system? How come we never hear about that? How come we never hear about that? Now, there are a lot of theories out there, and I do have my own. One that I have been watching closely is the story from the IMF, or the International Monetary Fund. And they say if by 2030, you will own nothing and be happy. And that makes me wonder, how are they going to get people to follow that logic? It's a very interesting time that we're living in. Very interesting time we're living in. So I want to show you who the IMF is. And the International Monetary Fund is an organization of 190 countries working to foster global monetary cooperation, secure financial stability, facilitate international trade, promote high employment, and sustainable economic growth and reduce poverty around the world. That sounds pretty cool, huh? All right. But this is something that they said. Now, mind you, though, these guys, they're big. They're bigger than your own government. So they're huge. But listen to what they said. Here's a video from the World Economic Forum, and it's titled The Great Reset. Okay, so you will own nothing and be happy. Whatever you want, you'll rent, and it'll be delivered by drone. The US won't be the world's leading superpower. A handful of countries will dominate. You won't die waiting for an organ donor. We won't transplant organs. We'll print new ones instead. You'll eat much less meat. An occasional treat, not a staple, for the good of the environment and our health. A billion people will be displaced by climate change. We'll have to do a better job of welcoming and integrating refugees. Polluters have to pay to emit carbon dioxide. There'll be a global price on carbon, and this will help make fossil fuels history. You'll be preparing to go to Mars. Keep you healthy in space. Okay. It goes on for another minute or so. But what I want you to focus on is whatever you want, you'll rent. Whatever you want, you'll rent. And you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. How the hell are they gonna make you want to own nothing and still be happy? Look, I got a house, I got a car, I got a business, I have multiple businesses. So you mean to tell me I'm gonna own nothing and I'm gonna be happy? How are you going to get that in my mind that I own nothing and be happy? I need someone to explain how you can get 7 billion people who have their own thoughts, their own mindsets, their own goals and objectives in life to all conform to you own nothing and be happy. How can you do that? How can you change someone's mentality like that? How do you do that? How do you get someone to think, oh yeah, I don't want to own anything. I'm good. You know, I'll just, whatever I need, the government will get it to me because I don't need to own anything. They'll supply all my needs. How do you get people to make that radical mindset shift? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what you do to someone, to 7 billion people, to make them think along those lines. I don't know. Maybe you guys can think of some ideas, but I like connecting dots. But there are some dots that are missing here, and there are some dots that I think are quite evident, but I don't really want to say it because I just can't believe it would be like that they could convince 7 billion people to think a certain way. So what if you were in charge and you wanted to get people to think a certain way? How would you go about doing it? How would you get them to start to think the way you want them to think? What would you do? Is there something you could do? Could you do some type of psychological warfare to convince people to start thinking a certain way? Or could you use other methods to get you to your end goal? Could you use some type of fear tactic to prompt them to do one thing, and that one thing could invariably get you to the end goal? So if you're at point A and you want to get to point C, but you can't make the jump from point A to point C without doing point B first. And people don't realize point B is part of the ultimate goal, which is to get to point C. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, I don't know what he's talking about. And I'm hoping that there may be one or two that understand what I'm trying to say. And I'm trying to say it in a way that doesn't get this video booted off. But you got to wonder what's going on. Why the big push for everyone to get vaccinated? And there's no other option. That's all you see that's on your timelines. It's just flooded of all different types of news sources and news stories that someone is gravely ill, someone is getting fired, someone is getting ostracized because they haven't gotten a vaccine. So I don't know. You guys tell me, but something is going on. I think it's psychological warfare. But the question is, why? Why the push? Why the big push? Now, of course, some people are going to say, well, because, you know, I'm going to say it again, because it can make you sick and it can kill you. Yeah, there are other things that can kill you too, but they have never had such a big global push like they are now. So I'm done, because I want to say certain things that I really want to say, but I can't. So I'm just gonna sit it here. But only thing I can tell you is go outside, get you some vitamin D, get you some turmeric, get you some black pepper, get you some black seed oil, get you some oregano, get you some ginger, exercise, keep your stress levels low, drink a lot of water, do everything you can to strengthen your immune system, because there may be other illnesses or strains of illnesses that come out that will need an additional vaccine. And before you know it, you're taking vaccine after vaccine after vaccine after vaccine, and we don't know exactly how they are interacting in your body. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. All I know is your immune system can fight off disease. You just got to give it a chance to. And that's all I'll say. So I would love to hear what people think, because something's going on and it's making me real uncomfortable. But I don't know. So let's talk about this, because something very interesting is happening in the world right now. All right. All right. Talk to you later.